The British government says it's introducing a mandatory digital ID for workers.
It's part of an effort to secure the country's borders and reduce illegal migration. Here's what Prime Minister and leader of the Labour Party, Keir Starmer, had to say.
For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy and remain here illegally. Because, frankly, we've been squeamish about saying things that are clearly true. It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics to rely on Labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages, but the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders.
On the UK government's website, it says citizens will now not be required to carry their ID on them, but will be required for proving their right to work. Public polling shows majority of Brits are supportive of the idea, but many on both the right and left have raised concerns. A petition demanding the government ditch the plan has nearly 2.5 million signatures as of Monday morning. And Nigel Farage, leader of the Reform Party, says, I am firmly opposed to Keir Starmer's digital ID cards. It will make no difference to illegal immigration, but it will be used to control and penalize the rest of us. The state should never have this much power.
And former leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, also expressed his disapproval. He says on X, quote, this is an affront to our civil liberties and will make the lives of minorities even more difficult and dangerous. It's excessive state interference and must be resisted.
And I agree with them. So Keir Starmer there was trying to use language to make it palatable to conservative people, saying this is about immigration and not undercutting labor or whatever. No, that's not what it's about. It's about control. It's about making the internet not anonymous anymore. Right. Digital ID card. This is about registering people for social media websites and for crushing dissent, for then enforcing the UK's ridiculous hate crime policies on speech, policies related to censorship. I am glad to see both Nigel Farage, a very right-wing figure, and Jeremy Corbyn, a very left-wing figure, both agree on this. They're right. This is a disaster. It's the exact kind of thing we worry about here in the U.S., but it would be harder to implement here because the First Amendment would stand in the way. UK doesn't have that, so they're going ahead with it. Elon Musk is very opposed to it. Leaders of tech companies are very opposed to it. But yes, people on the left, like Jeremy Corbyn, also rightly opposed to it. It's very bad, and sometimes extreme right, extreme left come together, and that's not good. And sometimes extreme right, extreme left come together, and I think it is good, like when they oppose the Iran war or foreign policy, whatever stuff, or want Epstein disclosure. It's good. This is another example of it being good, in my view. But maybe you have a different view.
No, I actually think this is the one story today that we're going to agree. When I read into this,
finally one.
Yeah, we got one for today, y'all. But I think, obviously there are major concerns with this. First of all, the simple fact of the access, right? So a lot of people don't have access. And I know this seems so rare because of how much of a cell phone generation that we are and smartphones. So people might not actually just have access to carry around a digital ID, may not need it. But say you get pulled over and now you're thinking, digital ID is what you need to identify yourself. You don't have your phone on you or something. Now this becomes problematic. There also is a fact of the use of information. We can't just trust that the government who's acquiring and we decided on social media to give away all of our information. We're basically, by accepting the app to be downloaded on our phone, we're saying basically take our entire life. But that is not in the hands
having to
of
download
government.
an app. When they say you have to download an app, I say, let's go back to the Stone Ages. I hate it so much.
What do you want to do then if not download?
I hate when you have to pay for something or have to do cybersecurity that relies on, as our viewers know, that two-factor authentication is my least favorite development in the history.
But do you like to get hacked? It's supposed to protect you, right?
I would rather.
You'd rather get hacked.
I hate it. So for your health insurance, for instance, I got new health insurance, and I'm used to having your health information card in your wallet or whatever, and they said, oh no, now it's a digital ID thing, so you have it on an app or something. But of course, what happens every time you go to the drugstore and you're going to need to show them that the app needs to be updated every single time it needs to be updated.
Or how
this whole system is ruined by because there's no internet in the CVS underneath my building, so then I have to go back. Eventually you realize you just have to take a screenshot of the thing and just keep it in your photos folder, at which point I might as well just have an actual ID card. Physical things can be better.
And how much do you check out and the freaking scan thing is not working? I'll be at a CVS, not to bash CVS, but wherever, and you're putting your phone to tap, or I'll get on the subway out here and put my phone to tap, and I'm 15 minutes tapping. But I think the bigger
technology is making
our lives harder. And I just think because the Metro card worked for me in New York growing up. It's just simple, never failed.
Oh, actually, that one I can't do it. Well, I get the little pass. It's not a card. The like orange, and every time I have to do it like 18 times.
It's a New York thing. Get on board. You got to understand it. Get with New York.
I mean, I hate
You hate New York. That's why I said that.
That's just a me problem.
But I think the government can do bad things with the information. I also understand that if you understand what's going on with Keir Starmer right now in the UK, is that doesn't have a hugely high favorability rating. The Conservatives in the UK are also, their party is raising up in the middle of people saying, what are you doing really? We don't know. He had President Trump there just a few days ago in town. You know, they were pulled out all the stops for him, but also made this big announcement in partnership with OpenAI and some other big tech companies that they're going to be investing millions of dollars over in the UK specifically, which he thought would be good for him and start to get people back in his corner. And the fact that he targeted this to traditional conservatives by saying some of the things and how he presented it, and both sides of the aisle are coming at him. It's like, you can't be everything for everybody. Why don't you just decide how you want to lead and move forward in that way, as opposed to trying to bring everyone from the Conservative Party onto your side, because I think that's a losing issue. You're not only losing your base that's confused about this, but now conservatives are like, this feels too much like Big Brother.
Yes.
Which I don't think that the party loves as a whole.
The fear is they could use this, for instance, like think about Canada. In Canada, when there was the truckers' protests during COVID, well, they were able to shut off their bank accounts in some cases. So if you needed a digital ID to open a bank account, to do financial things, and you do something that the government doesn't approve of, could they shut off your access to those things? I met someone just the other day who has been a fan of various media things I participated in, who came to his current views from having had his banking shut off. Because he sent money in support of the truckers, and they canceled they suspended or temporarily his banking account. So that's the kind of world that is possible.
I didn't even think about
if you have this single digital ID that you need to open a bank account or start a social media account or apply for a job or whatever. It gets dangerous. It's too centralized, and then it would allow authoritarian central government to harm you, like they do in China, the social credit system. Oh, you said something against the government? Your key card doesn't work for your apartment anymore. I don't know.
This is very much like
a
Black Mirror episode. This feels very
absolutely, exactly. That could be coming to our shores someday.
I hope not. We have a lot more to talk about, guys. Stay with us.